BFinn JoeHam here with my friend Brian Finneran, and the opportunity to come out and learn more about rugby.
See what the heck the differences are between this and American football, I guess you could call it. So I'm excited and looking forward to learning and then watching this weekend as it gets rocking and rolling.
So I think we can break down 3 individual skills. So we'll start with passing. We'll do a little bit of passing, and then we will take a look at the tackle and the ruck.
All right.
And then we'll look at the 2 set pieces, which are lineouts and scrums. Rugby passes are always backwards. So if I'm here with the ball and I'm gonna pass to Brian, he's gotta be behind me, and then Joe behind him, and then our guys after. So we have this nice diagonal line, and all I have to do is pass it backwards to Brian, and he can pass it on.
How come they spin it? Either way?
You can spin it or you can throw it nice and flat.
But running.
Yeah.
Now we've got to get behind them. They've got the ball. And that's where back here. Go back. Keeping. Yep. You guys got it.
So as you can see, we moved up the field by passing the ball backwards but running forwards. So this time we'll take the 2 guys in the black jerseys, and they'll be our defenders.
Nice.
And we'll turn around, I guess.
All right.
You want to take this
Yep.
one?
And so now they'll defend us. We won't be going full contact here,
Take it easy.
but you'll see that as we run up, the defenders will be stepping up, and now we have to get the ball away from them. Okay? So,
Yep, push over.
Yep.
Friend line. Yep.
there we go.
Cross.
There we go.
Get your slow. DJ, you gotta get back, CJ. My ball.
Oh,
Yep.
There's no blocking.
No blocking. We have to, it's basically a big game of decoy. There we go. There's no blocking in rugby, okay? So everything's a one-on-one contact, and there's no interference from other offensive players. So we have to move the ball to where we get ourselves our one-on-one contacts, or we move it to where we can just run and not have any contact, okay? But in the event that we do have contact, we'll talk about the tackle a little bit. So if John's my defender, the tackle in rugby is very different than in football, okay? There's 2 rules that are super important. One is he has to tackle below the chest shoulder height. Okay, so any clotheslines, anything up top, even if I dip and he's high, that's gonna be a penalty.
On who?
On him.
On the tackler.
On the tackler. It's his responsibility to keep the tackle safe. So when he's taking a look at the tackle situation, his focus is getting in front of me, solid body in front of me, and getting his cheek to my cheek. So he's gonna work on making sure that he gets his body in a good position for a healthy tackle, okay? Though, when we make these tackles, again, we'll walk through it, I'll go to the ground, boom, that's a safe tackle. Now, when we're on the ground, the game's not over. We don't stop and reset. So my job is to protect the ball and get it back to my side. John can get to his feet and take the ball, which means Phil has to step in here and create a contest. And this is called a ruck, okay?
Okay.
And now we can play the ball out of the ruck, and you can pass it to Joe, and we're off again.
How come I see a lot of times, mostly in the 15s, like the ball just sit there for a minute, as opposed to somebody grabbing it?
It's usually because the ruck has been formed, so John may have tried to get over the ball. I've stopped him from getting there, and he can't put his hands back in.
Right.
And it's usually the scrum half or whoever's going to play the ball away is just making their way over there as fast as they can.
The other type of set piece is called a scrum. That's what more people are familiar with that terminology, because in football, if there's a dog pile or whatever, the commentators will say, oh, it's a scrum. In rugby, the scrum is actually much more organized than that. The way that the scrum will work here is we'll have 3 here, 3 here. Joe, you can jump in with me, okay? And Brian will be on the other side, so in the middle, okay? This seems fair. John, come to the side. Okay.
I can't.
So a scrum happens after a forward pass. If the ball just becomes unplayable in the middle of the field, too many people fell on it, or if a knock-on occurs. And a knock-on is where I fumble the ball forward. Okay? So the ball can never go forward, and it's unintentional, unfortunate, big contact happens, somebody just loses it forward. If it's fumbled backwards, we're play on, everything's good to go. We'll take this nice and slowly because there's some binds. Phil, if you don't mind helping your side. So Sumo's gonna put his hands up. Okay.
Like grab on right there.
Yeah, so Brian, you're gonna put your hand across. Yep, I'm gonna go down below.
Actually really good.
Right?
Perfect.
Sumo's gonna wrap his arms around our shoulders.
I'm over top of you. So you're a prop, and I'm the hooker. And now in 15s, we'd also have, in 15s, we'd have our second row behind us as well as 3 guys latched onto them. But in 7s, again, with the shorter numbers, it's only 3 in the scrum for each.
Right.
Okay. And so the cadence from the referee is gonna be crouch,
So we come
bind, set. So on crouch, you crouch. On bind, you're gonna reach over and grab. Yep, we'll go nice and gently.
Put your head here.
Yep.
The
Down
top
there?
of your head.
Yeah, and then we're,
And then
You're gonna go through this
your head
change.
always goes to the left.
And then set, and you're gonna lower your head. There we go. There we go. And this is a beautiful scrum.
Good. There you go.
And now I'm gonna put.
I gotta get in the gym, do some leg work. Look at these guys.
What about replay? Do you guys have replay?
Do you have replay? Yep. So there's replay for malicious things like a high tackle or a dump tackle, things like that. There's also replay for tries. Usually those would be the 2 primary things you'd have a replay for.
Do that scrum one more time. I want to see how you feel.
He's a natural. He's a natural.
You ready for this?
No.
Come on in here.
Grab him tight.
Good job. Yeah. So you want to be nice and tight.
Not yet.
Yep.
Okay, crouch,
I'll take you down.
bind,
So there's that bind.
and set.
And then we be in. We be nice and low with our knees down. Ball's gonna come.
Cheater!
Can't do that to him.
That's it. I want to know the scoring aspect of it, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yep.
But that's the only thing that I don't fully understand. This has been super informative. I'm dying to figure out scores, the kicks, why they happen, the angles, all that stuff.
We're running, and Sumo, you're here, and I'm able to draw John and get Sumo away. He can now go, and then to score, he's got to put the ball down on the other side. He can dive in, but that ball has to have downward pressure on the ground for it to be a score. Now, like you have in football, you have a conversion kick, a point after try. That's where PAT comes from, point after try.
Points for the touchdown first.
Yes, 5 points.
5 points.
5 points. Okay, so I put it down 5 points. Now, we get to do a conversion kick, which is just a place kick. There's no, offensive line or anything like that. But I must kick from where the score happened. So if I score on the sideline, I'll be kicking from the sideline.
To where?
Okay? Through the posts.
And you take the ball straight back as far as you want to go to create the right angle.
So say we score down here,
I got it.
my kick, we score here. Now I can go back as far as I'd like, but I have to kick through the posts at an angle. So it's better to score right underneath the posts than from the sideline. In 7s, you do a drop kick here. So I would just drop it on the point and kick. In 15s, it's a place kick, so you'd put it on a tee. Yep. Wow, pressure on.
Yes,
You got it.
It's windy too.
Oh,
Oh, sad.
wow, we only got a 5-pointer there.
Just side. That's pretty good. Just side it when you pointed it.
You got to sight it, dude. There's
Yeah,
no
you gotta
pointed
That
kicks.
was really good. Oh, that's all right.
He said I could play the second one.
We're gonna Photoshop it. We're gonna Photoshop it.
There it is!
That's pretty good though.
We can Photoshop that.
Calculating that.
Whoa, get up there. Get up there.
So we need to go over this. Running with the ball.
Yeah.
How many steps can you take before you got to bounce
Many
it?
as you want.
Run. You go. If
You can run forever.
If I break a tackle at my goal line and I want to score, if I can, you'll see that in 7 sometimes. So you see like somebody will just break a tackle because there's usually a one-on-one tackle because there's so much space.
Right.
You'll see a guy, bam, 100 meters, just gone. Yep.
And you don't have to bounce it when you run. Why do I think? Is that
Australian rules football.
Australian.
Yeah, Australian rules football. That's every 3 steps, I think.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Super Bowl with those guys. Yeah.
You're always welcome to swing by one of the practices.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know what